Hi guys, today I want to cover the basics of how is it that you can create the text and the captions using your reels. So let's get started. The way that you will access your draft, everything, as always, when you start with your profile, always just touch your picture at the bottom right, and that's how you will start your, this is kind of your homepage, right? So notice how when we do the reels, we'll see here the draft. So I'm going to be pulling one video from my draft, and then I'm going to be editing the text with you. Let's do it. So I'm going to be editing. One thing that you definitely want to do is just put the volume down, because when you're editing, you will be listening to the song over and over and over, and it's kind of annoying. So to start with, we're going to be pressing the letters icon, okay? And then here is where we're going to be doing the headline number 1. Headline 1. And by the way, guys, I don't know if you know, but you can use your voice, okay? Testing. So you can use dictation to add the captions of your cell phone, of your videos, okay? So headline number 1, this is going to be predominantly the one that you will use for your cover. So we always want to have headlines that are catchy, that are kind of considered clickbait, but the reason why is because they're going to be your thumbnail. So in that headline, you definitely want to stand out. And actually we'll be covering examples of headlines that will always just get you more views. All right. So for the sake of the explanation of this video, which is texting, right, and how we're going to be adding the text, let's just not keep talking about the headlines. Okay. So headline number 1, let's say text 1. I always like to write all the text at once, because or else it gets really tricky. Okay. Text 3, you write all the information that you want. And text 4, let's say text 5, it is something very complex, so you guys will better just become a pro. Okay, I'm just aligning it so I don't miss it. Okay. Text 6. Rule of thumb here. When you see videos and they have a lot of text, notice how you react. Personally, I hate it. I hate when people put just way too much text. It's not readable, and then I have to, pause and then go back and then listen to the thing again. So for that reason, I don't recommend that you add a lot of text to the point that you cannot even read it. So yes, we can add as many as we want. There's no limit, but be mindful here. So notice how now that I added all of those text, they're all here in the menu at the bottom. Okay, now we're going to be picking one by one, and we are going to be creating the transitions of each text. Okay, the first one is going to be headline number 1. Okay, the default is always going to be the full length of your video, so you're going to be grabbing your finger. This is something that I told you guys, I'm glad that it's happening. So sometimes it glitches, and I think it's it depends on if your cell phone is kind of like a little bit moist. Sometimes you cannot grab it. So if that happens, don't worry, just dry your fingers and it will work out. Okay, so I'm going to be using here, this is going to be the duration of the text, the headline number 1. Now we're going to be picking text number 1. Notice how I want to align it so that it starts when headline number 1 ends. So I'm going to be here selecting that with a lot of patience. Okay, text number 2 is going to start when text 1 ends. Okay, same thing with text number 3. Text 2, text 3. This is why it's easier if you just do this part when you have all of them visible. Okay, text 3, boom, text 4. Okay, and I keep moving here. Text 5, Boom. And as you see, text 6, there's really not too much room here. Boom. There you go. Okay, now what? Now is when we can actually, move with our fingers where those texts are going to be going. So headline, make sure that always your headline is aligned in the center, because this is going to be part of your thumbnail, okay? So there's actually grids that will come up. And notice how, for example, like you see this line, it means that whatever you put under, it's not going to be having visibility, because you have to remember that under here, there's going to be room for the username, the caption, and the audio. So make sure that you don't go under this. Same thing to the top, guys. There's also, you see, there's also a border to the top. You always want to edit that text that is inside the box. Okay, so this looks good to me. So the text, the rest of the text, you're going to be picking the text that you're editing, right? And then this is how you're going to be, selecting where this text is going to be going. So text 2, if I want this, let's say we want to have like the clock. All you need to do is just edit that. Boom. Same thing, if you want to do the trend in which you're touching, this is what you will be doing. Just use your finger and move the text towards where your fingers are, and that's how you can create some effects where you're like, snapping the text or touching the text, and this is how you do it. Okay, any questions about this, let me know. So I think I gave you the hack, right? You can always just use your voice to add long text. Then let's just hit done. Now there's more things that you can do with editing. Okay, so just know that you can always just change the filter by swiping. I don't know if you knew this, but if I just swipe, oops, of course I deleted one text. Oh my goodness, just be careful there. But if you swipe, you can actually, change the filter of your videos. Just know that. Sandrina, did you know that? That if you swipe left or right, you can change the filter of your video. Yeah, you can do that. Other things that you can do is use the sticker. With the sticker, you can add anything. You can add, confetti. You can add, sprinkles, you can add sugar. And now here's the thing, guys, the sticker is going to be just like another text. So you can actually set up the duration of it. So if you want just a little sparkle, and that sparkle to be at the beginning, for example, you see, I can just use this, and this is going to help me to I can just set up the duration of this, and that's like, a cute effect.
And you can make the sparkle bigger too.
Yeah, I can make the sparkle bigger. The other thing you can do is adding effects to an existing video, which is also interesting. Personally, I'm not a big fan of any of these effects. But I do like the effects that you can create when you're filming from the camera. So that's another, you notice that you have other set of effects there. The other thing you can do actually, and this is a relatively new feature, that we can do voiceover. So let's just practice that. In this particular video, I'm adding a voiceover so I can do this training. So here's what's going to happen, guys. Video, I'm adding a voiceover. Notice how my voice, you cannot understand what I said. So definitely you want to adjust the audio. Video, I'm adding a voiceover so I can do this training. You see? So this is the audio control feature that you can use. And that's how sometimes, people use a trend sound and then they just add voiceover. That's the way that you can control the audio. So let's say that you want just predominantly to have a tutorial. In this particular video, I'm adding a voiceover so I can do this training. You see? You can just do the mixer here. Sadly, that mixer that mixer is going to be basically applied for the entire video. So if you want different mixers, you will have to basically film it with your camera, not filming inside of Reels, because it's not going to work. Because any effects that you create here, for example, in the voiceover, they're going to be lasting for the whole video. So what else we can do? We can write, we can have, if you want to brand each video with your signature, you can. One thing that happens here is that you can pick the color. So you use the color picker feature, and with that is that you can create, you can brand the stickers there. One thing here, kind of so I don't surprise you. So let's say that you all of a sudden decided that you don't want white anymore and you want green. The editing feature gets a little bit tricky, and you have to be careful of this glitch, because what's going to happen is that now, do you see? As soon as you touch it, it's going to turn into the color that you just switch it to it. So if you want different colors, be my guest and spend more time editing one by one and going back to that. So I feel, in my opinion, that's a glitch. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a glitch, because, look, like if you touch it, it will go to that. So you might be asking, oh my gosh, how people do it.
There's no undo button?
No. And you might be wondering how people do it with different colors.
There's no Control Z?
Nope, there's no. So how people do it with different colors is they just decide on the color since, when they're creating it, and then they don't touch it. But, now like if you change colors, every text that you touch is going to go to that color that you change. Sometimes it can be a benefit because it can just make you edit and change things quickly, but it's a lot. Okay, so what else? Here is, I think I show you this. This is the filters. We did talk about voiceover. We talk about sound mixer. Now, if you want to save this video, one thing that you can do, which is something you can do if you want to repurpose the video for Facebook or for TikTok or for YouTube, just know that it will be saved, but without the audio. It will also save all of the features that you had, in terms of the text, the color, and all of that. So just know that, that's just one thing that will happen. I believe that we covered it all. This is mainly the video where I wanted to explain how is it that you do the transitions of the text. So just know that you have them here, and that you can always just, come here. And actually, if you made a mistake in one of them, you can just delete it, boom, and then create it again. All right? Any questions, just let me know.